Okay. No one's calling in, right, Scott? Okay. Can I have a approval of the minutes? Can I have a motion and a second to approve the minutes of the October meeting? Betty and Terry. Are there any additions, corrections, or deletions? Seeing none, everyone vote. Oh boy. Now it doesn't light up. It does this all the time. Well, what do I got to do? Well, it does this all the time to us. Get it there now, maybe? Not doing it. Here, I want to be quick. Will you try this one right here? That's what I just tried. Oh, you did. It doesn't go. Actually, I was going to pick it up. Okay. He's got to start all over. That does it. I do. There we go. Thank you.
Mr. Chairman, that motion carried unanimously.
Okay. Next item, informational items. Call on Brian for the sanitary district.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. In your packet here, you have the minutes from, I believe, October's meeting. So another busy month. We're wrapping up construction season. Spring and Caroline consent decree project has now closed. So that's a good one to wrap up, moving right into South Street consent decree project, a little ahead of schedule on that. And then hopefully starting the Haven on the Farm sewer extension project here shortly. So happy to answer any questions you might have.
Are there any questions for Brian? Well, having none, thank you, Brian. Okay, next one, Peoria County Capital Projects, funding sources and progress. Heather is going to, there's Heather, okay.
Good afternoon. In your packet is the through November 14th data for our capital projects that are underway. A couple of ones to point out are the probation office refresh. The furniture has been installed. They're pretty much done up there, except for some punch list items. And then the circuit clerk remodel furniture phase 1 was delivered and installed. So we have a lot of completed projects on this list. I think next month we'll probably move those to a separate page and just have all the ones in progress on one, and so you can see what we have going on.
Are there any questions of Heather? Betty?
I don't know if this is the time to say this, but I have a comment about the circuit clerk's office. I was down there earlier today, and very, very, very impressive. It's just a total new look. So thank you guys, everyone, us. Good.
Okay. Any other questions of Heather? Having none? Okay, we'll move on to resolutions. Okay, if you want to look it up, it'll be on page 17, the first one. I have down Mark Little, but who's going to handle that, Mark?
Mark is sick today. I'm going to handle it, Mr. Chairman.
Okay. Oh, yeah, I'm going to do that. Can I have a motion on the floor in a second? Matt and Paul. Okay.
All right, Mr. Chairman, every couple of years we go out for bid for cash rent of the county-owned farm. This is our acreage where Bellwood Nursing Home used to be, and the acreage that is north of the county jail and the county highway department. We put that out for bid. We received 3 respondents. This is a situation where the highest price is the best price. And Richard Shane of Brimfield, who is the current farmer, or I should say has the contract that's expiring, bid $332 an acre. That's just a shade under, works out to be a shade under $44,000 a year. That is an increase from what we're currently getting, which was $321 an acre. So value of our land from a cash rent standpoint and the productivity on it is going up. Happy to try and answer any questions.
Sharon?
Scott, is there an out clause for this? So let's say we are able to sell that property out there to a developer. Explain what the out clause says.
So there is the capability for us to have an out clause should a development opportunity present itself. One of the things that we did do with some of our allocation from the Clean Energy Jobs Act that we got from the closure of the Edwards power plant was to start to work on a master plan or an economic development plan for the county farm. If we had an opportunity that presents itself, we've got a strategy on how we might do that, and we'll be happy to bring that to you at a future date when it's completed. It's in progress now. But we wrote into the specifications, and we'll write into the lease agreement with Mr. Shane, should this be approved, that we do have an out clause. I don't have the details in front of me right at the moment, Ms. Williams. So, there'll be things involved in terms of where, what damages or in terms of crop loss or whatever we would either need to pay or forego, depending on what time of year we would exercise that out clause. And so, like I said, we'll work language into it that is to as much of a favor as us as it can be. I just don't have that language in front of me at the moment. And we'll work with Jenny on that language.
Do you have the timeline on when we're going to be looking at that economic development video?
Great question. We can certainly queue that video up at any future meeting. The final kind of development document is still in progress, so we're happy to share that video at any point with the committee or the executive committee or the board or however you'd like to have it shared.
Any other questions? Okay, ask to vote. You would announce the vote.
Motion carries unanimously, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. Okay, for the next resolution, 4.2 is on page 27, if you want to follow along. The Akron Roadbox Culvert Joint Funding Agreement, and Amy will handle this. Can I put a motion on the floor? Second? Terry.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. This is for a large box culvert on Akron Road. This is north of the Dunlap area, and it's near the grain elevators out there. We received some federal funding, and we need to enter into a federal agreement to spend it on this. We'd like to replace this next year, but we need to start this process of getting the federal agreement through IDOT, and that will help us fund the project.
Any questions? Having none, let's vote.
Motion carries unanimously.
Okay, we'll move to the third one, 4.3, page 47. The motor fuel tax appropriation for Mossfield Road resurfacing. Can I have a motion and a second? Marcia and Terry.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. This is for a future mill and overlay project on Mossville Road. We're asking for appropriation of motor fuel tax funds to do this project next year. This was in the budget for 2026, and we've used in-house engineers to design this project and are looking for approval to put this out for bid next year.
Any questions from Amy? Terry?
Just one. Is this an overlay or is there milling of the surface first?
This would be a mill and overlay.
Perfect. Thank you.
Any other questions? Let's vote.
Motion carried unanimously, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. Item 4.4, page 51, approval of the quotations received for the 2026 general maintenance request for quotations. Do I have a motion to put it on the floor in a second, please? Betty and Terry.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. This is our annual request for quotations from materials vendors. This is for items like patching material, signs, and pipe culverts, those type of things, oil that we use for seal coating. We go out for quotations so we can buy materials with motor fuel tax funds. Next year, we only purchase what we need, but this gives us some vendors that we can work with because we've been through the request for quotation process.
Are there any comments? I'll just ask Amy to maybe explain to them if you guys went through that. I asked her earlier, and Matt, would you know this? They were selling the oil, some of the oil there by the ton instead of the gallon now. I don't know if you guys caught that. And maybe say a little bit what we were talking about, Amy, ahead of time.
We used to purchase oil by the gallon, but the vendors who sell that now they factor in some of the material properties, the specific gravity, and so it's more advantageous to sell it by the tons, by the weight, as opposed to by the gallons, because apparently that can fluctuate. There's some fluctuation in that. So that's why you see tons instead of gallons for the oil products.
Thank you. Any other questions? Let's vote.
Motion carries unanimously, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. Next resolution 4.5, page 69. The agreement with Galena Road Gravel to permit the installation of a culvert under Truett Road. Do I have a motion and a second? Paul and Matt.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. We've been talking with Galena Road Gravel, which is located west in the city of Chillicothe, and they currently have operations for their aggregate producing facilities on the north side of the road. They are looking to do some additional aggregate producing from property on the south side of the road. This is west of town. And they are looking to build and construct a box culvert underneath Truett Road to install a conveyor system. So they can take the materials from one side of the road to the other to be processed. The hope is that there'll be less truck traffic and they can still produce the materials. We are currently working on an agreement with the state's attorney's office, but this is to allow them to start doing some planning internally. If the board approves the agreement or the intention of putting a culvert underneath the road. So the intent is to have this just for a conveyor system. This would not be conveying anything but aggregate materials in a conveyor system underneath the road.
My understanding is, and then when they're done with the gravel pit, is there not an agreement that they're going to take that out then?
That would be included in the agreement.
In the agreement.
Some sort of sunsetting clause.
Yes. Any other comments? Terry?
This area that they're excavating is adjacent to residential property owners. And we've had this discussion probably at least a year ago. I know you and I were both involved. But because it lies in my district and there are residential properties involved, I just want to make sure that the opportunity to review this before it moves to the next step on behalf of the property owners, the residential property owners, very important that for them that I do what I can to keep their best interest in mind. I don't doubt that will happen, but I just want that on the record that that this is something that will have an effect on those folks, and we need to be real careful about how it affects residential property.
Any other comments? Having none, let's vote.
Motion carries unanimously.
The final resolution, 4.6 on page 73, the agreement with Beck Oil Company to make improvements to county highways for access to a proposed gas station and truck stop. Can I have a motion, Sharon and Jimmy?
Mr. Chairman, we've been working with Bex Oil for a little bit of time here. They are looking to put in a truck stop gas station in the vicinity of Jubilee Cafe on Kickapoo Edwards Road, kind of near the exit ramp. To facilitate this, they're looking to make road improvements on Civil Defense Road and Kickapoo Edwards Road to accommodate the larger trucks that would be making turns into the new gas facility. So we are working with Bex and with the state's attorney's office to put an agreement into place so that we can have a set of plans, go to bid letting either late this year or early next year, and to make these improvements to the roads so they can work on constructing their portion of the gas station.
Do you want to explain that part of it? Does anybody have any questions about the money part of it? Who's paying it and upfront costs and all that? Nobody yet? Oh, Paul, go ahead.
What's the repayment plan? How long will it be before
Scotty?
it kind of gets
Great question, Mr. Rosenbaum. So they will be paying their share as we receive and process pay applications from the contractor. So it's not a loan. This is because it's our both roads are our roads. We're going to hold the contracts, and then we're going to pay our share. And then once we've hit the cap of our share, we will still pay the contractor, and then we will send an invoice to Bex for reimbursement of that.
Any other questions, Jimmy?
Scott, could maybe add to what, just for clarification. So we approved this agreement. It is basically off of older estimates. So the way this is work, we're the first. So civil defense is going to be curb and gutter, which it currently is not. And then there'll be a turn lane in there. So we're the first 600,000 in for safety improvements and curb and gutter and all that. After that, it's on the developer. The stranger deal in this is, even though since it's our roads and we're letting it, the developer will have the right to, once the bids come in, pause it or reject it, and this project might not happen. So we're going off estimates that have been, as Danny knows, I think we spoke in Brimfield about 2 years ago this time. So we're going off estimates. If this came back at 1.8 or 2 million, the developer has the right to go through the pro forma to see whether or not they still have it. They've paid all engineering fees up to this point to have the prints go out. So one step closer, but there's still a bunch of hurdles that will need to be go. So that's why we're looking at the December, early January. There's IDOT lettings in January that will be November lettings were really non-existent. So January we'll have quite a few more on it. I'm just trying to make sure we maximize the bid time, but this is a very nice project for contractors.
Any other questions? Let's vote. Mine not registered. I didn't say anything about it all the time. I mean, it's doing it now. Well, you don't have that.
Motion carries unanimously, Mr. Chairman.
Okay. Miscellaneous? Is there any miscellaneous? How about public comments? None? This meeting is adjourned.